How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Mullen, which was down 6% on the day, just a little bit over that. But it is holding up key areas of support, what we talked about on the weekend. So it is going to be looking interesting for the week. We'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Mullen. Let's see how it performed on the day. So I ended up closing at $1.39, being down 6.08%. On the low, it tested $1.36, and then on the high, testing $1.54. So when we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 61.952 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 77.027 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and we've seen a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 35.12. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 50-day. So it's clear to see that Mullen is on a downtrend. We know it's trading below all of our major moving averages, but like we talked about in the previous video, we are continuing to hold up support here above $1.33. We ended up seeing a low of $1.36. So if this level can continue to hold, I'd want to see if Mullen can actually make a move further up to see if it can get above $1.64 so we can get to the 50-day moving average, which is right around $1.81. But if we have this 133 level breakthrough, then we can see Mullen pulling back all the way to $1.15, which we also spoke about as well. And if this level is going to break, then we want to see Mullen hold up $1. So if you're looking for a strong reversal out of this play, of course, it needs to get to the 21-day EMA, which is at $2.04. That's another level that we discussed, $2 being a psychological area and as well as $3. We know reaching these levels in this market, it could meet a good amount of selling pressure. But if it's able to get above $2, then we can look forward to a strong move to maybe possibly getting here to around the 220s. So I'd keep a very close eye on that. But for the most part, with the way things are looking, it does look like we could break through that 133 support that we held up before. So let's go on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Mullen. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So taking a look at the recent filings for the 25th, we have FNY Investment Advisors LLC that purchased 1,000 shares. We also see Tradewinds Capital Management. This is just an adjustment. Looks like an increased position of 57.14% as well. And then when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 36.10%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 12.39 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, short shares availability is at 8.4 million, updated 22 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 14.99%. Taking a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 21st, it is at 33.81. And then for the close of the 22nd, it is at 36.10. So what does this show us? There has been some short covering that's been going on, and I can see this due to the fact the stock has pulled back quite a bit, and they're just taking profits. I'm talking about on the short seller side. And taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 12.40%, that gives us a good indication of that. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Mullen. So we see here on the inflow, it is at 19.03. 0.3, and then on the outflow it's at 17.56. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0.51, on the medium it was 13.09, and then on the small it is 5.43. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 0.29, on the medium it was 12.29, and then on the small it was 4.98. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, April the 25th, we had an inflow of 0.22 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 22.16%. So this is a consistent range for Mullen, and we could see, especially from the order flow, there is demand coming from the retail side, many that are buying in. So let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts from Mullen Automotive, when it comes to the price action, we were able to hold support above $1.33 to be exact, at $1.36. Please keep an eye on this level. If 133 does break, then we can make a possible move going down to around $1.15, and then of course we want to see if we could hold $1. If you're looking for a bullish move to the upside, and that's a continuation of us holding up the mid $1.30 range, then we need to get some price action above $1.81, and then essentially getting to $2. This is a very key level for Mullen. If we could hold $2 and we have more bulls stepping in, maybe a catalyst coming through, then we could see this stock potentially going back to $3. So that is one thing you want to be aware of. And we also have to keep an eye on the market conditions. Things did pick up towards the end of the day, and we want to see if there's going to be a continuation of that going into tomorrow, or maybe you might be catching this video the day of. But know those levels. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we do see that there is some activity. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, it is very clear to see that there has been some short covering that has been going on. And the reason for that, we've seen as far as for the short interest percentage of the float, that has gone down quite a bit. And knowing where the stock was and where shorts got in, whether they got in at $4 or whether they got in at $3, they were able to bank a good amount of profits. So what we want to see going forward with the volatility we have in the market, are we going to have demand for Mullen shares? We saw from the order flow distribution, there was some buying that was happening on the retail side, but we're seeing some selling pressure. No surprises due to the fact of the conditions we have inside of the markets. But I do believe things can pick up, especially when it comes to big tech earnings. If the numbers end up looking good, I'm looking forward to seeing some strength in the market. If the numbers end up being bad, then of course the whole entire market is going to pull back, and I don't see Mullen being immune to this. So that's why I say, if you're going to be jumping into this play, make sure you have a strategy. Are you going to be an investor, or are you going to be a trader? And if you are going to be a trader, then make sure that you have your stop losses in place. This is very crucial. What could this look like? I know I get this question. So remember what we said. We want to see support hold at $1.33, right? So let's say, for example, that level breaks and we're able to stay above 130, right? So that's what means, as far as for your stop loss, maybe you could set it around 128 or maybe around 125. You want to give yourself a little bit of room. So if it ends up actually breaking through 125 or 128, of course that would kick you out of the play. But the good thing about it is, since the upside is pretty good, especially when we have buying volume, let's say if it makes a potential move going to $2, and this is assuming that you bought in at around $1.40, it looks really good when you think about it. So that's why I say having a strategy. Please don't go out and do exactly what I just spoke about. I was just using those numbers as an example, but I want to make sure you have some sort of an idea if you are going to be trading this play from a swing trading perspective. Of course, if you are a day trader, then you're going to be going off of the daily movements, the fluctuations in price throughout the day. So again, have a strategy. This is very important. And if you are an investor, then of course you want to be loading up on the dips since you have high conviction. I felt like I really need to put that out there because many people get confused because they see all these videos on social media saying, hey, it's going to the move. They buy in and then they're like, hey, what the hell is going on? All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.